Welcome to the Wired and Weird. This is our first ever episode. We're super excited and we're super thrilled to have you here. We've been sitting and simmering with the idea of having this podcast for a long time, for a while, and we're finally here and we're so stoked. We're so excited for the conversations that we'll be bringing to the table, and we're excited for the insights that you'll be receiving. Hi, Archit. My gosh, we're here. We're finally here.
Hi, Thea. Yeah, we've been talking about this for a while. So excited to do this. I think this is something which both of us wanted to do, and yeah, happy to take this to the world with you.
Right, right. So, like, first of all, who the hell are we? Why do we feel why do we feel this confident that we actually have a lot to share? Yeah, we're here to share who we are. We're here to share about our own experience as soul entrepreneurs. We'll definitely speak more about why we call ourselves soulpreneurs and heart-centered entrepreneurs. First off, I'd like to tell you guys the story how Archit and I met. So in a lifetime ago, during my girl boss era, I was working as a digital transformation head of digital transformation from a retail conglomerate in the Philippines. And Archit was country director for a different startup before he started his own. And we met there because I was very interested in the service that they were providing. At the onset, I already felt this sense of like deeper connection with our chit because I understood or I felt like a deeper level that this dude isn't just about um isn't just about the work. Like there's something deeper and more meaningful to how he presents himself and how he sees the world. And so I've been curious. And fast forward, he started his own startup, and I was such it was such an honor for me to witness from country director into actually having to start his own. And our working relations deepened throughout the years. Alas, I resigned as girl boss and turned into a girl boss. But even so, we kept talking and we'd keep sharing about our experiences throughout the journey. That's my version of how we met. What's your version of how we met?
Yeah. No, it's been a privilege to sort of have you on this journey, Thea. I think yeah, first time met you. Yeah, I think we met at work for the first time. It was very interesting. I think meeting you while you were in that era of the corporate and
Yeah.
corporate life which you had. Wow. And yeah, sort of a lifetime ago before COVID, I was new to Manila at that time as well. Very very fresh in terms of moving around, different challenge. Personally at that time as well. Conversations with you were always very interesting. I felt like there was as you felt, I think there was a different connection, and hence that sort of also allowed me to open up to you about my entrepreneurship journey. You were the first one I reached out to about my entrepreneurship ideas and aspirations and what I wanted to do. And I was so glad that you provided me a platform to sort of share my thoughts, take it through you. And
Mm.
I think at that time itself, like it was relationship for me became special because while you are in that sort of entrepreneurship journey, it's a very sort of a lonely journey. And for me, living in a country where I hardly knew anyone when I sort of came over,
Right.
you look for people who can sort of give you support in different ways. And I think you gave me that support
Mm.
where I could jam my ideas, come over to you. You were always there whenever you could make time. So I think that was super helpful. That gave me my first shot, like the first chance of sort of presenting what we wanted to build to the world as well. So that
Mm.
gave me the confidence to go all in. Without all of those conversations, I wouldn't have gone all in, honestly. So yeah, it was super important. And then it's just grown from there. And I think yeah, you moved on. And it was so inspiring to see what you've been able to do and your own personal journey as well and how you've sort of moved on. I always saw this side of you. I never honestly thought that it will you will go completely away. I thought you will still be there and
So
thereabouts.
did I.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it is amazing, and I'm so glad that you've been able to do that. And then, as you said, we've kept in touch even in different time zones in different countries.
Hmm.
And then, whenever I've met you or spoken to you, I've never felt like we haven't spoken for a long time. So there's always
Hmm.
been this connection.
Hmm.
I tell my friends about it as well. And yeah, no, I'm excited to start this new journey with you over here. Yeah,
Same, same. There's so much mutual respect, there's mutual admiration, and there's so much honor I think that we both share for each other in the way that we witness and the way we support each other. And I feel like, and that's part of our intention for this podcast, it's really this bridge that we're trying to build between spirituality and technology, because I was very deep in technology during my girl boss days, and obviously you're still in that space, and I don't think I'm ever away from it. I mean,
yeah,
most of the work that I do is still online, and I'm so grateful
yeah,
for technology, the people I get to meet every day and the people I get to help every day because of it. So it's just probably like different paradigms,
yes,
different paradoxes that we can fuse, we can merge, we can bridge, which I feel like the deepest kind of spiritual maturity is respect that there are nuances and that there's this paradox and that there are different paradigms, but instead of moving in between the two, it's actually building a bridge between the two and just finding common ground. And I feel like that's what we're doing, and um I hope our intention comes across. And would you like to share your intention for this podcast as well?
yeah. I mean, this we've spoke about it and we've been speaking about it. I remember most of our conversations. I think the first thing I love about the whole um, angle to this is we both of us are sort of believe that I think every human or every person should should be their authentic self in a way, should get a chance to be their authentic self. Um, I think that's what I want. Like I would like to sort of take to the world. I think the first thing is we can do what we want by being sort of our authentic self. We don't need to um, because the world sort of puts pressure on you, and I think I have seen that being entrepreneurs, being
Mm,
doing our own things. I think we are forced to sort of put a mask on and sort of
mm,
be be a kind of a character in this world, which the
mm,
world would accept, right? And
mm,
sometimes when you are that character, and then we see so many different people who put those masks on and are portraying a certain character for the world, I think it puts it takes a lot out of you. And I think I do feel that I think there is a and with you that's it's always been with this space where I could sort of be this authentic self and sort of I have this person who sort of understands that. And I think that also that is something I believe like we can sort of share with the world that okay, while we continue to be on this journey where we've got our own um, aims, our own vision, our own mission, I think doing that with the right intention, doing that with the right uh, by being our authentic self, I think that's to me the most natural way sort of to be on this journey.
mm,
And I think yeah, I mean just being that very that is sort of what drove me towards doing this podcast with you as well. I think this is and yeah, I mean like why not? I mean if some we can learn from other folks who will join us in this podcast as well, and if we our conversations helps other people who are sort of in between right now trying to figure out what's the right
mm,
path for them, hopefully we can
mm.
guide them towards the right decisions, and then they can then come back and share their journeys with us as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like in full resonance and alignment with everything that you said. And so that's why we have this, right? We can be both wired to technology, to this, to to the realities and structures and conditionings, and we have to play the earth game. But at the same time, being weird, which also just means being your real self, like being totally turned on by life, because that is who you are by fate. And now there's going to be like a tangent and different discussion about, fate and free will. It's not what we're all about. When we say fate, it's just we align with that authentic self. We align with the reality that there are roles to play. So these are the masks, but at the end of the day, we're just playing a game, and we're we're just doing our part and making sure that we're still coming from this sense of deeper purpose, like deeply wired in our intention, because it can be it's a wild and crazy world. It can be a wild and crazy world, and if we don't have these things to tether us, it's going to be so challenging.
Yeah, I mean, beautifully, beautifully put it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like so so accurate, and I think this is also where finding our own tribe and people who sort of um,
Mm,
believe in similar values and similar way of living is so important. I feel like there is generations and centuries of conditioning which we've gone through, and
mhm,
sort of everyone sort of works in a very default mode. They're born in
mhm,
you're born in the society to function in a certain default mode, and a lot majority of the people, I would say, do not get the opportunity to see this other side of the world which you and I have the opportunity to. And I think it's a privilege as well, given our backgrounds, given where our family has been. And I think that also gives me a lot of gratitude, in terms of, okay, I have the privilege to sort of be able to talk this right now, because a lot of people I know just do not have that privilege.
mm,
And yeah, I mean, mentioned, I read about this 2019 maybe. I heard this term for the first time. It fascinated me so much. The infinite games, and I think when I mentioned like the heroes I followed and the heroes I looked up to were playing that infinite game, and they were stretching the boundaries of their sports because it was not
mm,
for an outcome. They never stopped even when they became the greatest or the best by statistics. For them, it was just the joy of playing the game. If you ask them, it was always that, okay, we enjoy this game, and so we just want to play. It doesn't matter if the records are there or the stats are there or anything else. We're just playing for the pure joy of it. And
mm,
that sort of resonates with me now in a way where, yeah, you aspire, you are driven, you're passionate, you are disciplined, you sort of have your daily routines and stuff to achieve certain things. But at the end of the day, the deeper roots are the joy of doing it, the joy of playing this game, and sort of that giving you that freedom to be your authentic self. If you and I were still in a corporate job or a startup job,
mm,
we wouldn't have had the freedom to do what we really want to do as well on the other
right.
side. So I feel like what you mentioned makes so much sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. Thank you. The infinite game. I like that. I really like that. And I feel like this whole entrepreneurial journey. So shout out to all those entrepreneurs out there who are teeter-tottering whether they should go full in, they should take the jump, they should leave, or they should still, I mean, it's up to you, right? The invitation is, what are these wirings so that you connect to? Like, what, and when I say wirings, what are you tethering yourself to? Like, is there this sense of deeper longing? Is there a sense of calling, or like all these things that we were talking about? Because again, this path isn't for the faint of heart, and you have to choose it every day. And the path that we walk as entrepreneurs, this doesn't have a manual. Yes, there are so many coaches out there who talk about frameworks, and there's so many advancements in technology that can teach us and help us and support us along the way, but it's still it's still tierra incognita. It's unknown territory, because your path is yours alone, and you're actually the one who builds it as you walk it. But you have to choose to walk it and walk that path every day.
Absolutely. I think that constant battle with yourself just because you're part of this society, the part of the whole functioning of the society, I believe like that we can't let go of this side as well. I think
Mm,
maybe at one in the last few years I was a little
I used to think like maybe there is one way to live and this is the most authentic way. I still believe that we
Mm.
have the society hasn't reached a point where you can be the most authentic self yet. You have to still, if you are building in this whole capitalistic world, the way the society is structured, I've sort of grown to now also feel like capitalism as it is not the worst thing. That is how
Right.
I used to think in between. And so I reached that spectrum of my thought process as well. And I feel like
Nice.
now I'm back in the center. Um, and I think there are a lot of merits and a lot of pros around how society works. I think we should take the positives and work leverage those positives, but at the same time, there are some demerits to it as well, which you and I have discussed as well, and others. I think those are the things we should be conscious about on a personal level, and yeah, I mean, if we can just be very aware of the day to day decisions we make and um, keep it aligned to who we really are, and sort of, I think there is a magic, there is a way that the whole thing works and things get aligned. I think you just keep believing in it and keep making those choices. And I think the most important piece is also being patient because not everything just happens by itself. I think, yeah, just being patient in your journey and with yourself is very important as well.
Wow, that's beautiful. Oh gosh, there's still so many topics and explorations that we are so excited to dive deep on, and see you in the next episode.